What's up, guys? Hybrid Mongoose here, and welcome to another video. In today's video, we are going to talk about video game gatekeeping and why it is so silly. Let's get right into it. Video game gatekeeping is so silly, and I don't know why these older gentlemen that from the back in the day have this stigma like you weren't around for it, so you don't have a say, or you're not allowed to have nostalgia, like we're nostalgia gating the world or something. And it's ridiculous because it actually goes from age to actual gender to, like all kinds of different things. I find myself laughing when I personally find someone who's like, younger than me, that's like, yeah, I just played, Zelda or whatever. I'm like, cool, great game, let's talk about it, whatever. Like, I'm not going, how old are you? You're 17? What do you know about games? It's like, it's so ridiculous because it's like this it's like we're trying to act like because we were around when it was released that we have some kind of say, like, or we have some kind of like, oh, we have a better, we're higher ranked than you, in the retro world because I was there, which it doesn't mean anything. It literally means nothing. So what is gatekeeping exactly? Let's take a look at this from Reddit, which is from our gatekeeping subreddit, and it literally defines it. So let's take a look at that real quick. So it says, I'll define it as when someone takes it upon themselves to decide who does or does not have access or rights to a community or identity. So one of the first things that I've seen that's actually ridiculous is when a guy sees a girl wear like a Castlevania shirt, for an example, right? And they will be like,
just because you played that game or whatever doesn't mean that you're actually a gamer.
You're such a like you're posing as a gamer because you're wearing that shirt. And I do get the stigma around like certain people wearing trendy like a Nirvana shirt, but they can't even name 3 songs from Nirvana, like things like that. I get that point, but like, because there are people out there that are like that for sure, but to just automatically assume because she's a girl and she's wearing a Castlevania shirt, she just like, her opinion doesn't matter now. Like, I find that line to be like, there's so many guys and girls that play video games nowadays. It's literally silly to be like, oh, she's probably posing, she probably never played a Castlevania game in her life. And it just doesn't make any sense. Now this was another one from Richard from Review Tech USA, which I used to like back in the day, but I don't really like him anymore. But I'm not trying to like cause any drama. He just wrote a tweet and someone's commenting on it because people are they're feeling a way about it. So let me read the tweet real quick. It says, I love it when people talk about how much nostalgia, in quotation marks, retro consoles like the Super NES, the NES brought them growing up, quotation marks. And these mother effers weren't even born until the year 2000. You weren't even a sperm cell in your dad's sack when I was playing Gyromite. Sit down. Says, so apparently now we have no business feeling nostalgic for things that we grew up playing if they were played predates our existence. So by his logic, my nostalgia for the 2600 is fake because I grew up in the mid-90s and I have literally nostalgia for it today. I have no claim to it because it came out in the 70s. As a retro gamer enthusiast, it really irked me to see him writing something like that and then double down. What does everyone else think on his take? So this is exactly what I was talking about the age thing. I am happy when I see a young person talk about a retro game. Retro games are amazing, so it's not a surprise to me at all if someone's like, I played Zelda or Mario 3 or Mario 2 or whatever it may be. I think it is cool. And that's one of the gating things that people have. This is the age gating or age gating nostalgia, you could say. So, but here's the thing that is funny, and the very first comment on this hits the nail on the head. My family was so poor, so my parents bought me outdated consoles and games from the flea market because it was way cheaper. I often joked about the fact that I'm a retro gamer since childhood, and that is so true. There is a lot of people out there, and there's nothing wrong with it. If if your parents are at least buying you games and they're trying, and people are playing a PS5 and you have a, I don't know, PS3 or something, who cares? I think that's actually really cool that they grew up, knowing about all this stuff. And my son, now I'm showing him all these different, retro games and all this other stuff. He knows who Bonk is. Some of you guys might not even know who Bonk is. You know what I mean? He knows like who Crash Bandicoot is. He knows about all these different retro games. And he loves them, and it's like there's nothing wrong with it. Doesn't matter what age they are. I'm not going to act like I have authority on nostalgia. It's literally ridiculous. It sounds so silly when you talk about it, because people can be nostalgic for literally anything, and it's based on their experience. You can't just be like, you don't have nostalgia for that. That came out in the 1970s. Another thing that I've seen that people do when it comes to gatekeeping is the fact that they will be like, you have to experience the game in this specific way. Like, you have to play it on a CRT TV in your mom's basement. You need to go back in time, and there's got to be wood paneling on the walls in the background, otherwise it doesn't count. And like, some people, like, each person's going to have their own way on how they want to play these games. And I am of the mind that I don't care how you play these games, as long as you're enjoying the game and keeping it alive. Like, I don't care how you play it. You can emulate it, you can buy it on your mobile phone, you can do whatever. Like, do I actually get bonus points for playing Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo, or I bought it on Steam and I'm playing it on my Steam Deck? Like, does that actually matter? Like, truly, we played the same game. It's the same story. Like, why do you have to be like, well, I played it on the Super Nintendo when I was 8 years old? It's like, okay. Like, who cares? And there's going to be some retro purists out there that just, like, they don't want the super sharp pixels. They don't want that upscaler look. They want the fuzziness of composite. And a lot of, like, there's a big argument to be made that a lot of artists, the pixel, artists made it, based on that blur. They made their art. So, like, there's some people that want the blur on purpose because that's how the developers intended the game to look. I'm not going to judge them on that. I like upscaled RGB to the max with SCART cables and all that other stuff. Like, I haven't, as you guys know, if you're subscribed, I have an RGB, modded CRT. Like, that's way far off, from everything, So it's like, I don't care how people play. Like, that is the most ridiculous thing. It's like caring when someone sells their collection of games or something. I don't get it at all. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this. It is ridiculous that we are gatekeeping on age, on sex, on quality of how they want to play. Like, it really makes no difference. If we're playing the same game, who literally cares? At least they're playing the game, and I think that's cool. I think it's cool that they're playing the games, they're enjoying the games, and they're keeping those games alive, and that's awesome. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for the video. What are your thoughts on this gatekeeping thing? Do you think it is just as silly as I do? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Subscribe. It is free, 100% free. Subscribe now, and yeah, you'll have luck all day. Anyway, see you guys later. Bye.